All right, let's talk SEO, not the overcomplicated version, just what exactly it is and how it helps your business get found. You've probably been told that you need SEO, or maybe you paid someone for it, but you're still not exactly sure what it means or how it works. So I'm gonna break it down for you in real terms in about 10 minutes. Maybe more. But by the end, it'll all make sense. So, what even is SEO? Like, for real, what exactly is it? If I had to explain it without all the jargon, it's this: it's just about being findable. That's it. That's the whole thing. Let's say your aircon dies, you're sweating, you're annoyed. Maybe you've even been panicking because it's starting to get pretty cold here in Melbourne. So you grab your phone, you open Google, and you type in aircon repair near me. You've done that, right? Everyone's done that. Google shows you a bunch of websites and businesses. And out of all of them, you click on the one that looks like it actually does what you need. Maybe the headline's clear. Maybe it says aircon repair Dandenong, and that's where you live. There's a phone number. The site doesn't look dodgy. It just makes sense. That website didn't show up just because of luck. It showed up because Google looked at it and went, yep, that is probably what they're looking for. SEO is what helps Google make that call. It's not some cheat code. It's not stuffing keywords or doing weird back-end stuff that you don't really understand. It's literally just making it easy for Google to understand what you do and who you do it for and why you're a solid option. And when you do that properly, Google goes, all right, let's show this one. So here's the part that most people never really think about. You Google something, let's say hot water system repair, South Yarra. Google gives you a bunch of results, but how does it actually decide who goes first? A lot of people ask me this question, like, why did your business show up and your competitors didn't, or vice versa? Well, it's not actually random. It's not about who spent the most. That top section is actually for paid ads. But the normal results, Google's trying to figure out who's actually the most useful, and it makes that decision in a split second. First, it checks what your page actually says, not what you think it says, what's literally on the page. So if your site's full of vague stuff like tailored heating solutions or we make homes comfortable, that sounds nice, but it doesn't really tell Google anything specific. But if your page just says we repair hot water systems in South Yarra, then it's easy to understand. And that's what Google's looking for. Then it looks at whether it can trust you. Are you listed anywhere else? Do you have reviews? Are other websites linking to you? Does your site look like a real business, or does it feel like it hasn't been updated in 10 years? Well, here's the part that most people miss. Google pays attention to what happens after someone clicks on your site. If someone lands on your website and leaves straight away, well, that tells Google that your page probably didn't help them. But if they scroll around, read a bit, and maybe check out the services or even go to the contact page, well, then that's going to be a good sign that your website is the right one. It's going to tell Google that this might be a useful site. And that's what it's really doing. Just trying to figure out which result is most likely to help the person searching. You don't need to be the biggest business and you don't need to spend the most money. You just need to be clear about what you do and make it easy for both people and Google to figure that out. All right, so now you've got a feel for how Google works. Let's talk about the bit that actually matters. What can you do about it? Because yeah, you can't control the algorithm. You can't press a button and make yourself rank number one, but there's parts of this that you do have control over. Stuff that actually moves the needle. And if you take the time and do it right, you will get the results. So here are three of them. Three things that you can work on that will make a real difference to how you show up. The first one is your website itself, what it says and how it works. So let's say you do ducted heating repairs in Brighton. If your page doesn't actually say the words ducted heating repairs in Brighton anywhere on the page, then how's Google supposed to know? You can't just say stuff like premium comfort specialist and hope that it figures itself out. But also, it's not just about the words. Your site has to work properly. It needs to load fast. It needs to work on mobile. It needs to be easy to scroll through without 10 pop-ups or things breaking on the site. Because if someone clicks on your site and it takes ages to load or looks weird on their screen, they're going to leave the website. And Google sees that too. So yeah, your setup matters. What your site says, how it works, whether it makes sense, that's your first lever. The second one is your content. And I'm not talking about one blog post every 6 months. I'm talking about proper pages that cover what you do. You should have a page for each service, one for installations, one for repairs, one for maintenance. Same goes for the areas that you cover. If you work in Brighton, give that a page. If you cover Sandringham, give that one too. Here's what most people miss though. Google doesn't rank websites, it ranks the pages. So if your homepage is trying to do everything and explain everything to everyone, it's not going to rank well for anything. The more specific and clear your pages are, the better. The third thing is your reputation. This is the part that shows Google that you're legit. Do you have Google reviews? Are you listed in local directories like Yellow Pages or High Pages, or even True Local and other directories? Or are other websites linking to yours? Even one or two links from other local businesses or even a blog can make a huge difference. You don't need to be a famous business. You don't even need hundreds of backlinks. You just need to look alive like a real business that people use and trust. So those are the three levers: your site setup, your content, and your reputation. If these three are sorted, you've already done more than most of your competitors. A lot of businesses out there are still trying to rank with just one generic homepage, no service pages, and 0 reviews. You don't need to overthink this one. You just need to actually show up and look like you know what you're doing. All right, so let's say you're starting fresh. Either you've just launched your site or it's been sitting there for months and not doing much. What do you actually do next? Well, here's the stuff I'd sort out first if I was doing this from the ground up. Nothing fancy, just the core things that actually get you showing up and getting calls. So firstly, set up your Google Search Console. This is the first thing that I'd do. Go to Google and type in Search Console. Click the first link and follow steps to connect your website. It is 100% free, takes 10 minutes, and it shows you what keywords people are using to find you, whether your site's even showing up at all, if there are any issues you need to fix. Without this, you're pretty much flying blind. Next, figure out what people actually search. Most business owners guess this part and get it completely wrong. Just open Google and start typing what you think people would search to find your service. See what Google suggests underneath in the autocomplete section. That's what real people are typing. Ask your customers too. Literally ask them, what did you type in to find us? You'll be surprised. It's probably not climate control specialist. It's probably heater repair near me. Just keep it simple. The next is create a separate page for each service and area. This one's big. Don't just dump everything onto your homepage as many business owners do and then just call it a day. If you do split system installation, make a page for that. If you also do repairs, make a separate page. Same with the suburbs. If you work in Brighton or Sandringham or neighboring suburbs, give each one their own page. Google ranks the pages, not the websites. The more focused each page is, the more likely you are to show up and start ranking. Next thing you should do is fix the basics on your site. This is the stuff that most people skip and it costs them. Make sure your site loads fast. Open your phone and see how it feels. Does it load in 2 seconds or does it hang? Can someone see what you do within the first 5 seconds of landing on your page? Is your phone number easy to find? Is there a contact form that actually works? Getting these basics right puts you ahead of half of your competitors straight away. So if you want to make your site faster, compress the photos on your page and convert them into WebP, and then download a caching plugin. The next thing you can do is set up your Google business profile and get listed locally. This is what shows up in the map when people search. That little box with your name, reviews, opening hours, all of that. Go claim your profile if you haven't already. Make sure it has the right phone number, your hours, and photos that don't look like they were taken 10 years ago. Ask your customers for reviews. You don't need 100. Just a few ones really help you. And while you're at it, list your business in places like Yellow Pages, High Pages, True Local, and other local directories. It helps build trust with Google and gets you found in more places. Look, that's the base. And if you do those 5 things, even if you don't touch anything else, you've already put yourself ahead of most businesses out there. This is how you start building trust with Google, not with hacks, not with a secret plugin, just by showing up properly. Get that sorted. And now Google actually has a reason to show your site to the people searching for what you do. All right, so here's what's changed. If you're still following old SEO advice from a few years ago, well, that stuff doesn't really work anymore. Google's way smarter now. It's using AI to understand what people are actually looking for. Even if they don't type it in perfectly, you've seen it. There's a little summary box called an AI overview at the top of the page. That's Google pulling answers from websites that it trusts. So if your page is clear and helpful, it might show up there. But if it's vague and says the same thing as every other site, it won't. And Google still watches how people use your site. If they click and leave, that's a bad sign. If they stick around, that tells Google you helped them. The local map section, well, this is still huge. So yeah, SEO in 2025 still has the fundamental things that you need to do. It's not about tricks. It's more about being useful. So that's the big picture. SEO is not some complicated dark art. You don't really need to be an expert. You don't need to learn code or sign up to 100 different tools and certifications to get good at it. You just need to be clear about what you do. Build a site that works. Say the things that people are actually searching for. Make sure your business looks alive online. That's really it. And if you get that right, Google's got something to work with there. and people will definitely start finding you online. Now, if you want to see what it looks like step by step, like how to actually do the stuff we've been talking about without paying for any fancy tools, well, I've got another video that shows you exactly how to do that. It should be up on the screen right here, and go and watch that one. It'll all make much more sense once you see it in action. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.